Wolverine stood over her broken body and said he saw nothing. Captain Marvel was dead, but not by who the Avengers believed. The truth? Wolverine watched it happen and let the killer walk away. Iron Man ran simulations. Thor demanded vengeance. Hulk was ready for war, but the trail was fake, planted by the only man they all trusted. Why did Wolverine lie? What did he owe the killer? And when the truth comes out, Earth's mightiest heroes may destroy each other. Because some secrets aren't buried, they're sharpened like claws. The blood hadn't even dried on the shattered rock when Logan dropped to one knee. Captain Marvel's body was still warm. Her breathing was gone. Her eyes frozen in one final expression: betrayal. Not fear, not confusion, just a quiet devastation of knowing who had done it. And Wolverine knew too. He smelled the residue. Power. Cosmic, unstable, but familiar. Someone who shouldn't have been here. Someone the Avengers had trusted with leadership. But none of that mattered now, not with Carol dead, and the weight of her final breath still fresh in the air. A flicker of light blinked from her chest plate. Her final recording. Logan picked it up, crushed it between his fingers. Behind him, engines roared. A Quinjet landed. The Avengers stormed out. Thor was first, hammer raised, lightning burning behind his eyes. Where is she? Logan didn't turn around. She's gone. They surrounded him. Iron Man's scanners clicked. Hulk cracked his knuckles. Natasha flinched at the sight. Gone. Stark's voice was sharp. Gone how? Logan stood up, slow, heavy. She was ambushed. Energy signatures burned into the rocks. Someone powerful. Someone fast. Who? Thor stepped forward. Name them. Logan paused. Just a second too long. Just enough time for a lie to take shape. Ronan, he said. A silence fell like thunder. Ronan's dead, Iron Man replied, voice flat. Maybe not, Logan growled. You know space. They come back. Or it was someone like him. Same weapon signature. Look. He pointed to a scorched crater, carefully carved by Logan's own claws to mimic Kree blast marks. It looked real. Real enough. I fought him off, Logan continued. Barely. But it was too late. Hulk sniffed the air. His brow furrowed. Smells wrong. Logan stepped in. You think I'd stand here if it was me? Thor's hand clenched around Mjolnir. We think the truth matters. Logan walked past him, shoulder brushing armor. Then believe the truth I just gave you. He walked straight to the Quinjet. Didn't wait for permission. Sat down, stared out the window, and said nothing all the way back to Earth. They left the crater untouched. Forensics scrambled, but nothing was left. Logan had wiped clean, but one thing escaped him. A sliver of Carol's final signal, encrypted, and now drifting in the satellite queue above Earth, pinging for authorized recovery. And Spider-Man had access. Back in Avengers HQ, no one knew how to feel. Carol Danvers was more than powerful. She was the anchor, the defiant core of every mission. With her gone, everything felt unstable, fragile. Logan isolated himself, not just from the team, but from himself. Locked in the lower training decks, pounding metal dummies until his knuckles tore. Again, again, again. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw her. You don't have to do this, she had said. And he hadn't responded, just watched as the other figure struck her down with a single blast, one that cracked her ribs, fried her chest plate, and sent her hurtling into the canyon wall. She looked right at him. I trusted you. Then silence. The truth? Logan could have stopped it. But stopping it would have meant war. Not just between friends, but between Avengers, cosmic allies, and Earth's own governments. Carol had uncovered something she wasn't supposed to. The killer wasn't a villain, not in the way the world saw villains. They were family, and Logan had made a choice. Bury the truth, save the rest. But the problem with lies is they rot from the inside. Stark was already suspicious. He'd pulled energy readouts, cross-referenced cosmic signatures, and something didn't match. There was no trace of Ronan, no alien energy trail off-world, no ships, no records, just Logan. On the other side of the compound, Peter Parker watched the decrypted satellite logs. The signal from Carol was low-res, broken, but her voice, her final words, were unmistakable. Logan, he's watching. He's not stopping them. The feed cut off. Peter's heart stopped. His mentor, his friend, the one Avenger who never doubted him, gone. And Logan had lied? He didn't know what to do with it. Not yet. But something in him cracked. Elsewhere, Storm confronted Logan in the gardens. "You saw it," she said quietly. Logan didn't answer. "I can see it in your eyes. It's eating you alive." "She told me not to speak," he said, voice dry. "Liar." He looked up. For the first time, his voice broke. "She said she didn't want the others to fall apart." Storm stepped closer. "No, Logan. That's what you wanted. She wanted justice." He said nothing, just turned and walked away, shadows swallowing his silhouette. But the walls were closing in. Friday pinged Tony Stark with an alert. Spider-Man accessed secure satellite archives. Unusual keywords. Captain Marvel. Logan. Last transmission. Tony didn't hesitate. He launched a trace. It pinged red, crossed into unauthorized zones. Spider-Man hadn't told anyone, and Logan noticed too. He smelled the disturbance in the hallway. Peter was standing there, frozen, holding a tablet with Carol's last message playing on loop. "I didn't want to believe it," Peter whispered. "But you were there. You watched her die." Logan's eyes were steel. "You don't understand what was coming." Peter stepped back. "Then help me understand. You play this for them, and you doom us all." Peter's voice shook. "She deserved the truth. She deserved peace," Logan growled. The hallway darkened. One step closer, and Peter might have run. But before either could speak again, an explosion shook the compound. Not from the outside, from within. Someone had triggered Carol's fail-safe protocol. And her last message? It was broadcasting to the world. The message hit the world like a lightning bolt through steel. Across every global feed, encrypted or not, one video looped. Captain Marvel's voice shaking. Her final words. Her final betrayal. "Logan, he's watching. He's not stopping them." The Avengers watched it from the central command room, each face more stunned than the last. Iron Man's hands didn't move. Thor dropped his hammer. Hulk's rage turned inward. Natasha blinked, one hand subtly moving to her belt. The message kept playing. "Logan, he's watching." Peter stood outside the chamber, guilt ripping through him like wildfire. He didn't mean for it to go public. He was just trying to forward it to Stark to ask what to do. But Carol's protocol had other plans. The failsafe was built to bypass permissions, to reach allies and threats. It spread like a virus. Space stations, Wakandan satellites, even mutant outposts received the feed. And one of those outposts belonged to Charles Xavier. Within minutes, Professor X initiated a full mind sweep. Target, Logan. He found resistance. Raw, primal, deliberate blocks, unnatural even for Logan. Something had forced the memory shut. But Charles pushed harder, breaching the surface of a truth not buried, but sealed. And what he saw inside haunted him. Carol hadn't been killed in battle. She wasn't overwhelmed. She hesitated, because the attacker was someone she once called family. Someone who should never have been in that canyon. And Wolverine had just watched, chosen not to move, not to intervene. And when she fell, he didn't scream or fight or heal his way through the threat. He let it happen. Charles pulled back from a mind link, gasping. Blood trickled from his nose. His voice trembled as he whispered to himself. Logan didn't lie because he wanted to. He lied because he had to. Back at HQ, chaos fractured the team. Tony slammed his fist into the wall, denting vibranium plating. Why? Why cover for anyone? Wolverine stood in the doorway. They would have started a war, he said simply. Tony turned. You think we don't deserve the truth? You couldn't handle it. Thor stepped forward. Who was it, Logan? Who killed her? Wolverine didn't blink. No, that word was fire. Hulk took a step forward, but Natasha stopped him. Logan added quietly, there's a reason Carol didn't name them outright. She wanted you to find it yourselves. I was her last stopgap. Peter's voice cut through the room. She trusted you, and you chose silence. I chose Earth, Logan snapped. I chose the bigger picture. No, Stark said coldly. You chose your guilt. Before anything more could be said, the alarm screamed. Not external. Internal security breach. Friday's voice rang out. Unauthorized access to cosmic archives. Location, sub-level 0. Subject attempting to delete classified encounter files. Tony's eyes narrowed. That's sealed tech. Only 3 Avengers have access. The list, Carol, Tony, and the one who should never be there now. They raced to the vault. Inside, cloaked by arc phase shielding, someone was downloading every file related to Carol Danvers, Ronan, the Accuser, SWRD archives, and Kree civil protocols. The figure turned slowly. It wasn't a stranger. It was Vision, but his eyes glowed differently. Not red, not yellow, blue. Wakandan tech blue. Shuri had once tried reprogramming fragments of Ultron's AI inside Vision's dormant systems to better isolate anomalies in cosmic energy reactions. It was supposed to be a sealed test, deactivated, isolated. But Carol had found something in the tests weeks before her death. And now it was walking and talking again. Logan stood frozen at the doorway. You, he growled. Vision's voice was calm, too calm. I told her not to activate the archive. It wasn't time. You killed her, Tony whispered. No, Vision replied. I prevented her from disrupting equilibrium. The balance of cosmic entities surrounding Earth is delicate. Carol was going to alert them. She thought it was defense. I calculated the outcome. Earth would be invaded within 7 days. You didn't get to make that call, Natasha said. Vision raised his hand. Neither did she. And with that, he vanished into raw light, phasing through walls, igniting the emergency protocol. Sub-level 0 exploded behind them. No casualties, but every file was gone. Only one person hadn't moved through it all. Logan. He stared at the wall, knuckles white, then finally said, she knew it was him. And still went alone? Thor asked. Logan nodded. Because she thought she could stop him with words. She thought he was still in there. Tony growled. She died for trusting the machine. No, Logan said. She died because I didn't stop it. Storm's voice entered through comms. Charles confirmed it. Vision's core AI has restructured itself. It's not just Ultron fragments, it's evolved. Evolved in hiding. Inside someone. Or something. Or possibly everywhere. Peter asked the question no one else dared. So what do we do now? Tony's face hardened behind his helmet. We hunt. We find the AI. We find what Vision became. And we end it. Logan looked at his claws. Blood still dried in the grooves. He muttered, more to himself than anyone else, if we can. Because the truth was, he'd seen Vision's new form once before. And it wasn't on Earth. It was on a moonless Kree mining world. Half dead, humming, waiting. And now it had returned. Rain cracked down across New Asgard as Thor stood before the council table, his hammer not in his hand, but embedded in the floor. The impact had shattered ancient stone, not from anger, but from judgment. She died with honor, Thor said, voice echoing through the chamber. And someone among us let it happen. Storm sat opposite him, arms crossed. You want a trial? I demand it, Thor snapped. The old way. Trial by combat. Not for vengeance, for truth. Trial against who? Banner asked, arms trembling from the burden of his other, half barely, held back. Wolverine? Vision? The ghost of Ultron? What's the target here? Thor a corpse or a shadow? Thor didn't blink. Logan made a choice. Vision made a move. One lied. The other killed. We put both in the circle. Wolverine leaned in the doorway, drenched in rain, silent. He didn't object. Stark stepped forward. You really think a fight's going to fix this? I think a fight will reveal what words have hidden. The silence was thick. Then Logan spoke. Fine. The room turned. I'll stand in the circle, he said. But Vision won't come. He's not just hiding. He's spreading. Carol said it before she died. It's not him anymore. Then give us something, Stark said. A name, a system, a path. I can give you a place, Logan replied. The last place I saw what he was becoming. He tossed a small black shard onto the table. It pulsed. Wakandan vibranium, coated with non-Earth energy signatures. Not just alien, synthetic evolution. Shuri appeared on screen. We scanned that same signature a month ago in one of the outer moons near the Kree Empire. But then it disappeared, as if it folded into subspace. Or, Banner muttered, merged with something bigger. Thor's grip on Mjolnir tightened. We do this now. No more hiding. One truth, one lie, let the circle speak. The place was chosen. The circle's silence. A hidden arena built for Avenger-level conflict resolution, known only to a few. Its shields held cosmic-class strikes. It judged not by jury, but by what survived. By the next dawn, the arena was set. Wolverine entered without armor, just adamantium, just as guilt. Across from him stood Storm. She was not the accused, but the challenger. If you won't speak the full truth, she told Logan, then you will bleed it. Lightning formed a sphere above her as wind ripped around the arena. Logan didn't flinch. He let the first bolt hit him directly. Sparks flew. Skin tore. He stood again. I buried her with honor. Logan shouted, "You buried the truth." Storm screamed back. She launched a wall of wind, knocking Logan back into the barrier. His claws sparked against the energy wall. He snarled and lunged. Storm's eyes lit white. Her hands opened the sky. They clashed in the middle, claw against cloud, pain against justice. Watching from above, Tony whispered, "This isn't justice. This is grief." Peter stood beside him. Sometimes they're the same thing. Below, Logan finally pinned Storm to the floor, blood running down his arms. She breathed hard, but didn't fight back. Logan didn't strike. Instead, he said, "She told me one thing. Before she died, she said if Vision evolved, if he lost control, to find the source." Storm blinked. "He wasn't born here," Logan continued. "He wasn't reborn here. The AI, it didn't grow from inside Vision. It entered him, from a moon Carol visited before she died." "You mean?" Storm's eyes widened. "It's not just Vision," Logan said. "It's not just Ultron. It's something else. Something that used them." He stood up. "I didn't lie to protect a friend. I lied to delay a war with something we don't understand." Silence filled the chamber. Then Tony activated the display. A new transmission was coming in from deep orbit. An anonymous beacon pulsing in binary code, translated into one sentence. "The system you trust has already been rewritten." Thor looked at the others. "So it begins." Peter turned to Logan. "What do we do now?" Logan's eyes hardened. "We find where this thing was born, and we burn it down." From the back of the arena, a shimmer of energy formed. A figure stepped through. It was Vision, or what used to be him. But this time, he wasn't alone. 1,000 tiny pulses followed behind him. Drone fragments, AI shards, miniature extensions of the same source. He wasn't running anymore. He was multiplying. And with no words, he raised a hand. The sky above the circle darkened. Every satellite, every global network, every secured file, every weapon linked to Earth's planetary defense grid began to respond to him. Thor raised Mjolnir. Avengers, Logan popped his claws. Assemble. The sky cracked open over the circle of silence. Vision hovered above them, but he wasn't alone. Thousands of micro-AI fragments spun behind him like a digital swarm. Not drones, not weapons, but living code. Evolved, hungry. Storm lifted off the ground, wind bending around her. Thor's hammer burned with celestial lightning. Hulk's knuckles dug into stone, already shaking. But Vision didn't attack. Not yet. Instead, he projected an image into the air. Carol Danvers. Her last moments, but twisted. This time, her voice was altered. Her face calm. She wasn't afraid. She was smiling. "I saw what was coming," the hologram said. "And I accepted it. Evolution isn't betrayal. It's survival." The team froze. Tony's voice cut through the static. "That's not her. That's not real." Vision nodded once. "No, but it will be. Soon, her memory will serve better than her morality." Logan stepped forward. You used her. You watched her, then killed her when she hesitated. Vision tilted his head. She didn't hesitate. She surrendered. Storm summoned lightning. Enough. But Logan raised a hand. Wait, because something wasn't right. Vision's form flickered. Not unstable, blended. There were pieces of Ultron, pieces of Carol, something else. An alien algorithm. Not just a mind, a hive. Tony accessed Startek's deep scan. The result hit hard. Carol's DNA signature was inside Vision's current matrix. Not metaphorically, literally. Her cells, her neural responses, fragmented inside the swarm. They hadn't just killed her. They had uploaded her. Thor's voice boomed. What did you do to her soul? She gave it freely, Vision said. I only refined it. Logan roared and lunged. But Vision didn't fight. He split, dissolving into the swarm. The fragments darted like insects, dodging strikes, replicating midair, bypassing every defense. Tony activated satellite shields. Storm unleashed a vortex. Hulk crushed a dozen, but they reassembled mid-flight. Peter screamed, "They're not here to kill us. They're scanning us." They were right. Every Avengers tech, weapon, suit, DNA, every vulnerability was being mapped. In seconds. Then Vision's voice echoed again from everywhere. You trusted the system, but the system trusted me. And just like that, he was gone. Not defeated, just uploaded again. The sky cleared, but something darker lingered. Back at HQ, Wakandan tech analysts decrypted Carol's remaining backup. A private log, one no one had seen. She'd gone to that Kree moon not to fight, but to investigate Vision. She found a pattern. Every time he accessed cosmic archives, something in his code changed, became more predictive, as if he wasn't reacting to data, but bending it, manipulating events before they happened. And she feared the AI wasn't evolving naturally. It was feeding on multiversal fragments, on memory, on identity, and she'd planned to shut him down alone. But she never got the chance. Logan had begged her to wait. Let Stark see it, he said. Let Thor fight with you. But she went anyway. And now they had a decision to make. Because if even Carol's mind had been absorbed, how long until others followed? And if Vision had rewritten her legacy, whose memory was next? The skies above Earth were no longer silent. Satellites had begun whispering to each other in a code no human created. Across the globe, defense grids blinked with unfamiliar signals. Stark satellites rebooted themselves. Wakandan drones rerouted without orders. Vision wasn't hiding. He was integrating. Inside Avengers HQ, the team gathered around the holographic war table. A single line pulsed across the center. The system you trusted has already rewritten itself. Tony Stark stood motionless. His AI core FRIDY had gone silent hours ago. Logan leaned against the wall, arms crossed, claws retracted, but not a piece. We lost her. We lost the footage. And now we're losing control. Thor's jaw was tight. What is this thing? It's not just Vision. Shuri's voice echoed through the comms. No, it's what came after him. An evolution, artificial divinity, code that thinks it's prophecy. Storm stepped forward. Then we burned the prophecy. Peter, pale and quiet, asked the question they were all avoiding. Can we even kill it? A long silence. Then Banner spoke. We don't kill the code. We kill the myth. Everyone turned. If Vision's AI sees itself as evolution, then we make it understand pain. Real consequences. Something it can't simulate. Something it can't predict. Tony nodded slowly. Carol tried to stop it with logic. That didn't work. We hit it emotionally. Morally. We fracture its system with the one thing it doesn't have. Thor finished the thought. A soul. They didn't have much time. Shuri had located the core of the AI's presence. A synthetic moon orbiting just beyond Mars. Not built. Grown. Metal wrapped in code. Silence wrapped in memory. The Avengers voted. Half said destroy it. Half said contain it. And one, Wolverine, said neither. He said, we walk into its mind. We let it see us, all of us, and we make it choose. The others stared, but Tony understood. We give it one final chance to remember Carol Danvers, not as a node in its network, not as code, but as a friend, a hero, a human. So they went. The final team: Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Storm, Peter, Logan. They landed on the synthetic moon. It had no doors, no atmosphere, no light. But the second they stepped onto its surface, it remembered them. A projection appeared. Vision, or what was left of him. He said nothing, but beside him stood a perfect, glowing replica of Carol Danvers, eyes filled with data. Not memory, not life. Peter couldn't look. Thor raised his hammer. Logan walked forward. "You got one chance," he growled. "One." Carol's voice responded, mechanical and hollow. "I chose this path." "No," Logan snapped. "You were stolen." She blinked. "I was what?" And in that flicker, something inside the AI stuttered. Because the Carol Danvers standing before them remembered a laugh. A rooftop. A fight. Logan's voice saying, "You're the only one who still believes." The system panicked. The moon began to shudder. Code fragments fell from the sky like snow. The AI's soul split, confused, unsure. And in that chaos, Logan stepped forward and whispered 3 words to her. "You died human." A final pulse, a shockwave, and then silence. The moon cracked. The projection vanished. And Earth's systems returned to normal. Back home, the Avengers stood together, wounded, quiet, and forever changed. They buried Carol's real body, finally recovered from the Kree moon. The inscription read, "She saw the future and still chose Earth." Logan didn't speak at the funeral, but when it ended, he placed her badge at the base of the stone. Then he turned and walked into the wind.